Welcome to VecTech, I'm Tommy. Now, what makes me different than the other reviews you're going to watch on the Steam Deck? Well, I'm a normal guy. I'm not someone that's going to spend hours here reading off super high-tech jargon to you that doesn't make any sense. I'm just a normal guy, just like you, that's just interested if this thing works good and if it's worth my money. I have a job, I go to college, I got a family. I really am the target audience of this thing, and I think you'll gain a lot from my review of it. At VecTech, I don't like to waste time, so let me try and sell you on this right away. With the Steam Deck, I'm able to bring this thing basically anywhere, play basically any game, including new releases and demanding titles like Cyberpunk and Red Dead Redemption 2 at really decent settings and pretty good frame rates, meaning it runs pretty good. And my most favorite part is that I can just pause anything by hitting the power button and it goes to sleep, but doesn't close out the game. This means for people like me that have a job, family, or are out, you can literally just pause it and put it away, then hit the power button hours or days later and resume right where you left off. It has a decent battery life, it's a great size for on-the-go travel such as vacation or bringing it to work or school, and it's very seamless. It's plug and play. Most games you just install and play. Now we're going to cover a lot of things about it such as performance, quality, how it functions, battery life. Let's get into it. So part 1, what is a Steam Deck? Simply put, it's a handheld portable gaming device similar to the Nintendo Switch. It's supposed to be like a portable Xbox or PS5, meaning you can bring it wherever you want to go without plugging it in, and you can play your favorite games on the go. But instead of an Xbox, it's like a portable gaming computer. On computer, we usually use a platform called Steam for our games. Steam is our version of Xbox or PlayStation basically, and that's how it got the name Steam Deck. Now, probably the most important part of this review is the performance, right? And how does this thing run? There's no point in a portable gaming PC if it doesn't work. Now listen to me, this is a handheld portable battery-powered gaming PC. It's not going to run as good as a $5,000 gaming PC, but it runs amazingly well. In fact, it runs pretty comparable to an Xbox or PlayStation, all things considered, which is amazing considering the size of this thing. You can literally play Cyberpunk on this thing and still play at a good frame rate with decent graphic settings. In this instance, I'm running the game at a mix of medium to high settings, and I'm trying to create as much chaos as possible to really overwork the Steam Deck to see if there's massive lag, but the game runs amazingly well, all things considered. Now with the Steam Deck, due to its size, it has a smaller screen. There's not much you can do about it, that's intentional, right? But because of that, it's harder to actually notice lower graphic settings. When you're playing on a big 60-inch TV, it's easy to see when the game looks like garbage, but on a small handheld screen, it's actually very difficult to see. So even if you have to drop the settings a bit, it's actually not that noticeable. Now, because it is smaller, games actually run better on it than they would on your 4K TV. This means you can actually keep the graphics settings fairly medium to high and still run games really well. Again, for a portable, handheld, battery-powered gaming device, that's pretty amazing. I mean, just a reference, playing Cyberpunk on the go would have been a joke just a few years ago, but now it's actually a reality. The main point is that you can play basically anything at decent settings without huge compromises. But you know what, guys, I don't think most people are even concerned that much about the graphics and immersion. You see, most people are buying this to play on your break at work, in between classes at college, on the airplane, or if you're just away from home. I think most people are just content being able to play their favorite games at good settings on the go. Honestly, I played this for 4 hours straight on a flight, and the graphics were the least of my concern, as I was more happy I had something to do instead of just stare forward for 4 hours. Let's talk about the pricing. You'd probably be surprised at how cheap this thing really is. With everything I'd heard about, I was expecting to spend at least $1,000 for this. How wrong I was, considering the cheapest option is literally $399, which is cheaper than a PS5, and performance isn't dependent on price really. Let me explain. There's two versions of the Steam Deck, the LCD and the OLED version. The LCD starts at $399 and the OLED starts at $550. The OLED version comes with an OLED panel, which simply put means when that part of the screen is black, that part of the screen turns off. This gives a more immersive gameplay experience, especially in the dark. The reason it's super important in handheld systems is because by turning that part of the screen off, it's reducing battery use and increasing performance. Because of that, the OLED version has a longer battery life and performs slightly better than the LCD version, but the performance isn't a huge difference. The main thing is the battery life, right? The price difference on these things is ultimately just getting you better battery life and storage. So if you have to get the cheapest version, don't be so concerned. Personally, I got the OLED 512GB version just because I love gaming at night and it'd be easier on the eyes, and it was only $100 more, so I thought, why not? There's also massive cost savings to this compared to a PS5 or Xbox. Games are much cheaper on PC. There's no annual membership on PC or any fees to play multiplayer games, which there is on PS5 or Xbox, and all the games you buy stay on your computer forever. It's not like where you get a new console and your old games don't work anymore or aren't compatible, you can always play them. Regardless, compared to a new gaming PC even, this is a great value. Part 3, it's literally pause and play, my favorite feature. So the whole marketed thing about having a Steam Deck is that you can play it on the go. But how many times have you been playing a game on your PlayStation or PC and it's impossible to get to a save point? I mean, it also sucks in 2024, many games you can't just save whenever you want, but I digress. This thing is literally pause and play. Let's say you're on it and you need to set it down for something. You just hit the sleep/power button on top and it just basically pauses everything. It doesn't close the game. It just puts a device to sleep in a sense. The moment you hit that button again, it resumes instantly where you left off. I have literally left games on pause for weeks on accident and have come back later to no issues whatsoever. It's insane. This is my favorite feature, as many people want to be able to hop on their game for a little bit on their break at work or when they have some downtime with the kids or whatever, and they simply can't because they fear they won't be able to save the game in time. That fear is gone now. It's literally pause, set it down, come back tomorrow or whenever, and play again, and it resumes right where you left off. It's insane. So it's also plug and play. Another concern for most, especially those more family oriented, is that this new piece of technology is going to be incredibly complicated to set up. Reassuringly, this thing is basically plug and play. Personally, I expected a difficult setup process, but I was surprised to see it took me basically 2 minutes to get this thing working. All you need to do is create a Steam account or sign into the one you have. Again, Steam is like our version of Xbox or PlayStation on computer. Steam is obviously free and everything. You just make a free account and that's where you buy all the games, add your friends, whatever. You just head over and download any of the games you purchased, and once they're installed, you just press play. There's basically minimal setup. Now, if you're more of a tech wizard, there is a way to boot this device onto the internet and use it as a device to watch movies on or TV and that kind of stuff, but that's outside of the scope of this video. If you're interested in that stuff, highly recommend just looking that up, but just so you tech wizards know, there is a little more to this device than meets the surface. But for those that just want to play the games, don't worry, just plug and play. Battery life. So this is one of the most important parts of this review too. It's a handheld portable gaming device, so you can imagine battery life is important. Now listen to me on this one, it gets a little complicated. And basically, in most instances, you're going to get 1.5 to 2 hours of gameplay on this before it dies. And this is with the OLED version. The LCD version is a little less, but not horrible. Now, this thing is just like your phone though. It's dependent on how much you're using it. If you're playing a brand new demanding game, it will burn faster. And if you're playing a super old game, you can get a lot more hours out of it. Sometimes you can get 5 to 6 hours out of it. You can also play with it plugged in if you want, and that works great. However, if you want to play longer on the go, you'll probably need to buy a power bank, which is basically a portable device you can charge the device with and bring it on the go with you. I bought the Anker 737. Check my review in the description about it. It basically extends this thing's life by 3 to 4 extra hours. Do note the Steam Deck charges at 45 watts, which is very similar to a MacBook or iPad. This means you'll need a powerful enough power bank or outlet to charge it at the 45 watts. Hey, just adding this while I was editing it, it does sound a little confusing. I specify the Steam Deck charges at 45 watts. It does come with an included charger that supports it, and most chargers that are USB-C, as in the ones you'd use to charge an iPad or MacBook, work great with this. It's just if you have a really old charger from, maybe like 5-10 years ago, it's really not going to charge this thing at a really fast speed and won't charge it while you're gaming. But if you have a newer charger or one that's more recent, it will work just fine for it. And again, one is included with the Steam Deck. And final thing here, I just got some pictures on screen showing those new chargers, so everything's kind of cleared up here. So now resuming, we're just talking about power banks that can charge this thing on the go. Not all power banks do so, but the Anker 737 is a very affordable power bank that does this, so I highly recommend it, and Anker is a very reliable brand. One of my favorite things, if you already have a gaming PC and have a Steam Deck, is the remote play. Basically, it runs the game on your computer, then streams it over to your Steam Deck. So if you have a super beefy gaming computer, you can run everything at ultra, then send it over to your Steam Deck wherever you are in the house. The main thing is the battery life will be like 8 hours, and the other advantage, you can lay in bed, be on the couch, and still run the games at ultra settings, high FPS, and obviously be using the super expensive computer you paid for. But for me, it was nice, especially if you come home from work and you don't want to sit up at a desk and play games. You can go and stream it to wherever you want and lay in bed or whatever and play your games. Also, this thing can connect to your TV similar to the Nintendo Switch. You can buy a cheap adapter, it's like 20 bucks, and it'll plug straight into your TV and you can game with that. You can also connect controllers and all sorts of stuff like that to it. It has Bluetooth and all that fancy stuff. So let's talk about sound quality and build quality. Some might say it might have a plastic feel. I don't think it's cheap plastic. It certainly isn't like overly heavy or anything, but I think Steam did the right thing here. They did not cheap out on the important stuff, but they did cheap out on the less important stuff, which to me, I don't complain about. The sound quality is great. The joysticks feel phenomenally built, and the buttons are awesome. There's also a lot of buttons on the back for more advanced games, think of maybe simulator games or more intense games. It also has these 2 mouse pad things where you can use it to control the mouse with your fingers. It's super cool and makes navigating everything a lot easier. Plus, the touchscreen is very nice and high quality. Overall, the quality is great where it needs to be. Sure, the plastic casing can feel a little flimsy, but I have no concerns on that given they put the money into the right areas. Let's talk about downsides. While there's a lot of positives to the Steam Deck. There are always downsides with everything in life, unfortunately. One problem is that not all games will play on the Steam Deck. It uses a different operating system than most computers. It uses Linux instead of Windows. Most of you are probably familiar with Windows, as that's what most computers use. Steam Deck developers have done a lot to make sure basically almost all games can run on the Steam Deck, but that's not the issue anymore, actually. Some games, such as Grand Theft Auto 5, have implemented anti-cheats, and the developers refuse to support the Steam Deck with that anti-cheat. That means you aren't able to play GTA 5 online anymore after a recent update. And it's frustrating because it's not like 2 people own the Steam Deck and you're going to be the third. Like, there are literally millions of units sold, and there is a pretty significant amount of people playing GTA 5 online on the Steam Deck. Hopefully this changes in the future. Other downsides are that I just wish it did run some games better, but that's more of just a technology thing right now. We just kind of need to let the engineers do their job and keep developing more advanced stuff. What is nice is Steam, the maker of the Steam Deck, invests a lot of time in updating it and fixing issues constantly. It seems there's a big update every single month, so more games are getting support, more bugs are getting fixed, and more features are being rolled out. So this product is still heavily supported, and Steam does intend on continuing support for the Steam Deck and building off of it for the future, so this isn't a product that's going away anytime soon. It's been super popular in the gaming community. So let's talk about my personal experience. So I've owned this thing over a year now, and I love it. Look, simply put, I love gaming, but I don't have a ton of time to do it anymore, so when I have to take a couple-hour flight, this thing comes in clutch. I don't use it massively throughout the month, but that's not a bad thing. I bring it to work, or if I need to bring my car to the shop for a couple hours, it's always good having this thing around. It automatically turns any waste of time into a fun gaming session, and the opportunities are endless. I was laying on the beach of California at night just playing on this thing, and the vibe was super cool, even if you call me a bit of a nerd for it. It's always been kind of annoying being only able to game in my house or on the couch. I bring it to work and play it on my breaks. The pause and play is awesome. It's great knowing everything just syncs back up to my computer back at home too, and I don't have to worry about anything. And just so you know, Steam does sync your games back and forth between the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has like a Steam Cloud thing that saves all your save files in the cloud automatically, which is nice. But I've also just enjoyed being off of my computer desk and being able to play my games while I'm laying in bed or on the couch. I've had no regrets with this thing. It's not even that expensive in comparison to a lot of other gaming consoles, and the value is insane. You can't bring your gaming computer or Xbox with you on the plane or to the beach. Well, I'm sure you could, but it'd certainly be a hassle. This has been great, and I certainly would buy it again. If they ever release a new version with better hardware, I am certainly buying one. So who should buy this? Now, you're probably at the end of the video thinking, well, should I buy this? I mean, if you're interested in being able to play your games anywhere you go, it's definitely for you. It's great to play some of the games on my break at work, on flights, in between classes at college, or even just relaxing in bed. If you've been traveling a lot, if you have a lot of downtime in your day that you want to fill and you're not able to really access your Xbox or anything, or if you're just a super serious gamer, this thing is definitely worth it. I'd find it hard for anybody to really regret buying this. There's just a ton of use for it, no matter who you are. I mean, even if you just get a 30-minute break at work, or you have an hour in between classes, or you're on the train home, this thing turns your downtime into something interesting. And instead of just doom scrolling Reddit for like an hour, I can just, play games and have fun. So, well, thank you for coming to the end of this video. Like Steam, the people that made this are not paying me anything. This is just an honest review. I'm Tommy from VecTech. If you enjoyed this review, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions about it, I'd be more than happy to answer it. Just drop a comment below and I'll respond to you as soon as possible. Please drop a like on the video. I think you can see I'm at 2 subscribers. I'm a very new channel, so if you like this kind of content, hit a like button and please subscribe. If it really supports my channel right now, as we've literally just started, and I hope to bring more unbiased tech news and information to you guys. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day.